Hi. You're significant. Everyone is significant. Everyone has a story. You have a story. I have a story. Our stories are different, but we have a lot of commonalities. And we want to celebrate your life, your family's life, in a way that makes sense, because every life leaves a legacy. It's our job to reflect, to celebrate, and to live. The world mourned when Kobe Bryant died. But to everyone on the street, he's a celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. Most likely you're not a celebrity, but to your family, you are. You are something special, you are something great. And we want to hear your story when the time comes. And we want to help your children tell your story about what makes you wonderful, what makes you great, what makes you unique, and what makes you you. Our story started in 1930 by my grandfather Louis and Priscilla Kolsak on the north side of Chicago. With a heart of service, he wanted to help, and he listened, and he learned, and he created events that made sense for the people that called on him. During that time, there was a list of things that people had to do. They had to go to the casket store. They had to meet with the priest. They had to go to the cemetery. They had to go to the florist. They had to go to the organist. They even actually hired 3 women to stand at the foot end of the casket to cry for 3 nights of visitation. My grandfather helped people by picking them up from their home and assisting them with all the duties that went along with funeral service. Another thing that made Kolsak Funeral Home integral was in 1958. There was a tragedy at the Our Lady of Angels church or school where 95 people perished. The Diocese of Chicago at that time said there should just be one service for all the people that perished in that fire. And my grandfather said no. He said every life is precious, every life is significant, and every child deserves a funeral mass, and every family deserves service that makes sense for them. The funeral home was on the north side of Chicago at 4255 West Division. They service a number of parishes. A lot of Polish and immigrant families were there. My dad went into the Army to serve the country, and on his departure, he looked at his father's business and he saw what good he was doing in the neighborhood. So he packed up his bags and went to University of Minnesota and studied mortuary science, and eventually came back home to run the family business and to also carry on the tradition. I believe my father got into the family business because he saw that it was noble, that it was a right thing to do. To treat people with respect greater than yourself is what my father always did. His memory of people, of who they were, the relationships they had, he was incredible with that. And he just loved serving people. He took great joy in changing suits in the middle of the day because he couldn't allow the same people to see him in the same suit. As our family grew, my mom had the foresight to look beyond the city of Chicago. So they looked to the suburbs where there was new opportunities to serve new families, to build new relationships, and to create a home here in Wheeling. I thought I wanted to be a builder. I pounded nails for a couple summers. Then I saw what my parents had. And I started working with my dad. And I found that it was a great combination of blue collar and white collar work that wasn't the same thing every day. And I fell in love with it. I don't think I was designed to do anything else because I love working with my hands. I love being relational. Growing up above the funeral home had its challenges, but the one thing it did teach us was that every person is important and everyone is equal and no one's better than each other. And so we learned respect at a very early age. My mom, Carolyn, instilled in me that this is a business, but yet it's also a way to spread the good news of the gospel. And I could not do this job if I didn't have a faith. In 2015, my dad, Lou, died. And I was put into a situation where I had to be son and funeral director. And that day made me proud because even though he wasn't here, the way Lou did things, the way Lou said things, still resound in the halls and the hallways of this building. There's not a day that goes by that we don't chuckle about something that he said or did. Probably the greatest thing that my dad taught me is that the smallest detail can make the biggest difference. When my dad died, it showed me the importance of what funeral service is about. It showed me that what we do has meaning. It showed me that life goes on, but we need to be thankful and grateful for the people that we've lived with. Along with my brothers David and Lewis, we've created an atmosphere and a business that is relevant to today. We're not doing things just because. We're doing things because they should be done in the right way, the way our grandfather taught us to do things, to tell a story, to listen to the little details, and adapt to the ever-changing business. We have a relaxed atmosphere here because we don't want to have barriers. I remember one time, about 15 years ago, I was standing on my deck and people came knocking at the door and they said my son died. I said, give me 15 minutes. Let me go take a quick shower. They said, no, we need you now. So I unlocked the door, we sat down and had the most real arrangement. The most authentic feelings came through and we created an event. But more importantly, we spoke together. We started the healing process together. We believe that every funeral should not be the same. There should never be an insert name here attitude. We believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the family and more importantly of the person that has lived. What makes us unique is that we're willing to say yes when other people might say no. I remember a guy said, I want to have a petting zoo at the funeral home. I said yes. I remember a lady wanted to have a casino night. Other funeral homes said no. We said yes. I remember when we applied for our liquor license. Not everyone agreed with it, but we have had some families that really have appreciated the idea of holding a cocktail and sharing memories about their dad. I remember having a boat outside of that symbolized the friendship and relationship between a father and his 4 sons that they rebuilt while he was going through his cancer. My hope for every family that we serve, as they don't focus on the death that took place, we want them to focus on the life that was lived, the life lessons that have been carried out and that are still living on throughout their lives today. And so my hope is that we together can listen to you, give to you services that are unparalleled, and allow you to reminisce fondly on a life well lived.